They don't teach this in school. Your parents probably didn't mention it. And society? It distracts you with six-pack abs, fake confidence, and popularity contests. But here's the brutal truth that no one talks about. 97.9% of women are irresistibly drawn to one rare thing. Not charm, not money, not looks. A man who has mastered emotional discipline. That's it. That's the secret. And yet, most men will never learn it. Why? Because they're too busy chasing attention, molding themselves to be liked, trying to be funny, trendy, desirable. And in the process, they lose the very thing that makes them truly attractive, inner strength. The man who doesn't flinch, picture this. A man walks into a room. He doesn't speak much. He's not performing. He's not loud. He listens. He observes. He feels solid. And somehow, everyone notices him. He doesn't need to prove anything. His presence speaks louder than words. Women feel it. Men respect it. He radiates calm in a chaotic world. Why? Because he's not emotionally fragile like most. He's built different. He's built stoic. Not stoic as a boring idea from ancient books. Stoic as a weapon, as a shield, as a calm center. In a storm most men drown in. He doesn't flinch when life gets hard. He doesn't beg for love. He doesn't fear being alone. He doesn't chase, because he's already full. You don't chase power. You become it. Here's the paradox. Women won't say out loud. They are irresistibly drawn to the man who doesn't need their attention. Not because he's playing games, not because he's arrogant, but because he's anchored. He doesn't crumble when ignored. He doesn't overreact to rejection, and that's the test. Every ignored text, every change in tone, every shift in her attention. It's not about your game, it's about your center. And most men fail because they've never built one. How to become that man? Step by step. You don't become him overnight. You forge him daily. Here's where you start. Wake up and take control of your first thought. Don't scroll. Reflect. When emotion hits, don't react. Pause. Breathe. Choose your response. Seek discomfort. Cold showers, hard conversations, heavy workouts. Be where most men avoid. Set a vision, then ruthlessly cut out anything that distracts from it. Never outsource your worth, not to likes, not to texts, not to whether she calls back. You define you. A stoic man doesn't seek validation, and that's why it comes. Real stoicism isn't numbness, it's power. Let's get one thing straight. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless, it's about being unshakable. It means you feel, but you're not owned by what you feel. You can love, but don't need to be loved. You walk into a room and your peace pulls people in. Not your words, not your style, your center. While the world screams louder and louder for attention, you become the silence that commands respect. That's the kind of man women can't forget. That's what 97.9% of women feel but don't know how to describe. And that is what makes you magnetic. Not the chase, but the gravity of a man who stands tall when others fold. Final truth. She's not your reward. She's your mirror. You are not entitled to her love. You are not owed her affection. You are not guaranteed anything. A stoic man accepts this. He doesn't crumble when things fall apart. He adapts, elevates, and moves with purpose. He doesn't ask, why did she leave? He asks, what did I tolerate in myself that attracted that energy? That's how you reclaim your power. Remember this. When you become the kind of man who doesn't need attention, attention finds you. When you stop chasing approval, you start attracting respect. And when you master your inner world, the outer world will follow. You won't need to prove yourself. You'll become undeniable, simply because you're at peace with who you are. In a world full of insecure noise, your calm will be louder than any words, and that silence, that's power.